Hello and welcome to your 10-minute power class. And today is all about reconnecting to the aliveness within, the vitality and life force that is within us. And one of the best ways to do that is by getting the heart rate going, our bodies moving, and the blood pumping. So join me in this invigorating class. Before we begin, I'll invite you to bring your hands together at your heart. We'll just start with a little bit of centering. Close your eyes and take a few long, deep breaths. And see if you can guide the breath right down into your belly, filling the entire front, sides, and back of your body evenly. And as you exhale, squeezing the breath out completely, creating almost a vacuum to draw the next breath in. Good. Set your intention now. And I'll invite you to join me in a single home. So take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Release your hands. Let's get started. So we're going to start today in downward facing dog. So I want you to take your hands to the floor, spread them nice and wide, walk your knees back behind your sit bones, and then inhale, lift your hips, and come on into your first downward dog. Now you might want to pedal the heels a little bit just to wake up the backs of your legs. I'm just creating a bit of movement before we get going. And then I'll invite you to find your static downward dog. So you'll round into the index knuckle, thumb knuckle, and inner wrist, and then reach through your arms as you send your hips up and back. Good. Take one more breath. On your next inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale back, downward facing dog. Good. Coming back to the breath. Engage the fronts of your thighs so the legs are active. And as you engage the fronts of the thighs, the backs of the thighs get the signal to start to let go. And try and drop the heels any amount. Even pick up your toes and spread them, and see if you can keep them lifting and spreading any amount. Just see what happens. Good. One more breath. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Good. Now from here, I'll invite you to inhale, raise your right leg up. You're going to lift from the inner thigh so that the hips are neutral. As you lift them up, spread your toes and drop the left heel down any amount. Good. Now on your next exhale, hug your knee into your nose, give it a squeeze, and then kick back. Good. And again, exhale, curl in and kick back. Last one, curl in. This time you're going to open up the hip as you kick back. Toes coming over to the left. And you'll take your gaze underneath and see if you can find those toes. Good. And then from here, I'll invite you to exhale your knee to your nose and step your foot through. Follow it with your left foot. Lengthen, look forward. Exhale, bow. Inhale, raise your hands, watch them join. And then exhale, bring them right down to the ground as you fold. Inhale, lift your gaze. Exhale, step back and lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. And raise your left leg up now, please. Flex your foot. You can try and drop the right heel any amount. Keep breathing. And then exhale your knee to your nose. Give it a squeeze. And kick back. Good. Exhale, curl in. Get it tighter. Kick back. One more time like this. Exhale, curl. And this time, open up. And you'll drop your foot over to your right. Take your gaze under so you can see your toes. Then exhale your knee to your nose. and step your foot through. Follow it with your right, lengthen forward, pull your shirt down if you need to. Exhale, fold. Inhale, raise your hands, watch them join. And then exhale, release them down again, all the way. Inhale, lift your gaze. And then exhale, step back into plank. And then from here, I'll invite you to exhale, lower. Come all the way down, and you're going to flip over onto your back. So we're going to do some kind of little bridge variations here to strengthen the glutes. So what I invite you to do is walk your heels in towards your hips. Feet are about hip width apart, outer edges in line with the sides of the mat. And then I'll invite you to cross your right ankle over your left knee. And you're going to peel the toes back, which will help protect the knee. Now I invite you to take your hands into robot arms, so the fingertips are towards the ceiling. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift your hips up, squeezing the right glute. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, up, and exhale, lower. So we're going to do 10. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully you're feeling a bit of a burn. 9, I am. 10. Good. Now you'll draw the legs in towards you and give yourself a little bit of a hip stretch. So as you interlace, either behind the left thigh or the top of the shin, what you're being mindful of is that we tend to want to lean over to the right, the hip that's getting stretched. So see if you can correct the hips so they're even, and that the pelvis isn't curling up, so you're thinking about the tailbone moving down. Also, it's nice to keep the chin just slightly tucked. Gonna take one more breath. And release, bring both feet flat onto the floor once again, and then you'll cross the left ankle over the right knee. Find your robot arms. The knee's going to move a little bit away from you rather than in towards you, and then we'll start to lift. So inhale up, and you want to really think about squeezing the glute. It's 3, 4, and nice and strong, halfway there, already at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Now when you drop the hips, you're going to grab behind the right thigh or the shin, and then just start to work the legs in a little bit closer. Now I invite you to notice just the blood running through your body, your heart beating, the sensation of being inside your body. Good. Release. Now you'll take your hands to the floor. We'll end with a little bit of core. So I invite you to take your legs up, and we'll do a little bit of scissors here. So you'll start by just dropping one heel, bringing the legs up, and then the other. So don't worry if your hamstrings are a bit restricted, they'll be a little lower. It'll be more challenging here too. If you can't keep the legs straight, you can also just straighten them as they come down. And this is totally fine. Now, if you want to make it harder, you'll have the feet further away. Your core will have to work a little bit harder here. So whatever works for you, you'll just join them and drop them, join them and drop them. Won't be too much longer. Keep your core nice and strong, zipped up through the front of your body, navel drawing back. And you can think about the hip points pulling in towards each other as well for that extra stability. Good. And now we'll go side to side, just a few rounds, crisscrossing in scissors. These are really good for the transverse abdominis, which are the deep abdominals that help with things like posture, and they're the really good ones. Even though you don't see them on the outside, but they're really important. Good. Now you can draw your knees into your chest, and then bring yourself up to seated. So I invite you to take a moment to just let a hand rest on your heart and feel the blood pumping pumping through your body, your heart rate, the temperature of your skin, the sensations in your body, and the aliveness that's here animating this body. It is one of the most precious and rare things in the world to be alive, and here we are today. Join your hands together at your heart. Thank you so much for joining me in your practice today. Thank you for taking this time for you. And namaste. I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon.